Sunrays. Inspiration, motivation and encouragement. Eat a frog a day, or how to get work done. In this video I'll inspire you and encourage you to be more productive, and to get the tasks done that are still pending. I will present to several approaches that help me to be more productive. I trust they will help you as well. Eat a frog a day. Or the variation, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. Is often attributed to Mark Twain, but I didn't find a reliable trace of that. Eating a frog is a nasty thing. And if eating a frog is one of your tasks that day, you better eat it first. After eating the frog, all of your other tasks won't be hard anymore. What does this mean? Is there something that you don't want to do? Do that first. This one thing might stay pending on your to-do list, and even causing you to not start other things or to work slower. Once you get the task out of the way, you will feel a burden taken off your shoulders, and you can focus better on your other tasks. So is there something that you don't want to do? Do that first. Before you start a task, in your head this task might be very big and burdensome. You have no clue how to do it exactly. Often, when you just start, the task become more clear, less burdensome, and actually doable. Once the task is done, you often think, it was easier than I thought. So don't let your fears or the unknown stop you. Dive right into the task and get it done. Doubting about when and how to start the task won't get any work done. Doing the task will get the work done. When you are ascending on a staircase, you usually take one stair tread at a time. Maybe if you're in a hurry and you run up the stairs you can skip a tread, and take 2 stair treads at a time. But nobody that climbs the stairs will take 4 stairs at a time. Things in life go step by step. Progress is incremental, bit by bit, step by step, you reach your goal. So when you have a task to do, and it is a big task, take 1 step at a time. Once you've taken 1 step, the next step is in reach, and you'll progress step by step. If you miss the total overview of a task, but you do know where to start, start. And work from there. Step by step. If it's too complex, break it down in smaller steps, and see if you can start from there. If a task is not fully clear, usually it will get more clear the longer you work on it. So if you don't know how to do a task, is there something you can do to start on that task? If yes, you can get going. And things will clear up along the way. If you have to do a certain complex task more often, it might also help to map the flow, write down the steps, what you need, and all relevant details. And the next time you need to do that task it will be easier, as you already have written down how to do it. Disruptions. A real danger when wanting to complete a task. Now before we say anything about this, we need to acknowledge that there are different kind of tasks, like physical work that go very well along with things like music. But there are also office tasks that you need to fully focus on to complete it. Music can be then a distraction, preventing you to reach that goal. There are also different people. Some people get distracted by music, and others feel that they work faster with music. Generally speaking, when we need to complete a task, we work the best without distractions. Imagine that you need to write a summary of 3 articles. You need to read all 3 articles and then compile the general information in one summary. You will need to focus. It won't help if you would check your phone, if you would check your emails meanwhile, or play some games. Or if in the background you play a movie and try to summarize the articles, and meanwhile watch the movies. Multitasking is a lie. When you focus on one task, for example watching a movie, you cannot focus on another task, making a summary. It takes between 5 to 30 minutes to get into the flow of dedicated focus, and a state of high productivity. Don't let this joy be stolen from you by distractions. A way to work organized and productive is using a Kanban board. There are different variations on this, but usually it has 4 stages. Backlog. All the work that should be done, both the work that is urgent, as well as the work that is not urgent as all. To do. It should be done, and preferable as next task. Working on. The work in progress, what you are working on right now. And done. The tasks you completed. Each and every task, you write on a post-it note, and stick it on the board where it belongs. If you don't know where it belongs, and it is not urgent, you put it in the backlog. If it is urgent and you know it should be done next, you put it in the to-do, to be picked up as soon as possible. If there are many more tasks that are urgent, and they all should be done as soon as possible, you put all of them in the backlog, and you will take from there the uppermost important ones in the to-do. The difference between the backlog and the to-do is the prioritization. Both the backlog and the to-do contain tasks that should be done. But the to-do contains the tasks that should be done next, once you finish the task you're working on now. So in fact, in the backlog you put all of the tasks. The most important ones you move to the to-dos, to be done next. In your working on should be ideally 1 task, maybe 2. Remember that people are bad at multitasking? Working like this brings structure in your day, it helps you to focus, and visualizes all that you need to do, and how it is going. Remember what I said about multitasking? Multitasking is a lie. So in the working on you want to have 1 post-it ideally. Once you complete that task, you move it to done and move the next to-do task to working on. Now let's see how this works with writing a book. Imagine we're working on writing a book. So we writing a book, on a post-it, and stick it in, working on. Right? You got the principle right. However, writing a book is quite vague. And just having 1 post-it sitting there for those months that it takes to write a book is not so motivating. Let's start writing a book from the beginning. It will be a book about cats. In this example we didn't start yet, so we'll put it in the backlog. But writing about cats is too generic. Remember the example about the stairs, and doing work step by step? If you have to write a book, writing a book all at once is not realistic. A book is written piece by piece, page by page, chapter by chapter. So for writing our book about cats, we first break it down in steps. What do we want to tell the world about cats? In this example we want to explain what cats are, where they live, how you can care for them and how you can tame a cat. Now that we have written down all the tasks and put them in the backlog, we realize that we have absolutely no idea what to write in the chapter What Are Cats? So we need to do some research, or maybe interview an expert. So we put the research and the interview in the backlog. Maybe more tasks will pop up while we work, and we will add them to the backlog. What is important is that we put now the tasks that are most important in the to-do. Let's put 2 or 3 tasks in the to-do list. Which ones will you choose? You need to take those with the highest priority. Indeed, we need to first research online and book an interview with the expert. And then we can start writing on our first chapter. What are cats? Now we need to move the most important 1 or 2 tasks from the to-do to the working on. For this we need to also think through the dependencies, or, if some tasks need to be done first. Do we first need to interview before we research? Or do we need to first research before we interview, so we can ask clever questions? We decided that we first need to research online. But we should also make a list of questions, for the expert, so we know what to ask. Hey, did you hear that? The list of questions. That is another task. So when we research online, we will gather information that we later need, but we also will write our list of questions already. Do you see the post-it? Now when you go to your PC to work on your book, and you see the Kanban board, you see 2 to-dos, and you know, I start my computer, and I go research online, and also make the list of questions. And nothing else. That's focus. And it is also clearly visible what you are working on, and what still needs to be done. Now, while you research online, you discover so much information that you can already start writing a bit on the first chapter. What are cats? What will you do? That's correct. You will move the post-it with what are cats to working on and stick it there. What you see on this board matches with reality. When you have your computer open, you have a browser open with a lot of information about cats. You have a document open in which you are listing the questions for the expert. And you have another document open in which you write your whole book, and now specifically you are writing the chapter What are cats? In it. After working hard, it feels really good to be able to move things to done. And you see things progressing. As the work is getting done, the other tasks that still need to be done also become more clear. Also more, new, cards might appear in the backlog with additional tasks. Maybe some cards you will remove, because they are no longer relevant. This is a great way to work, to keep focus and to keep you motivated. Try it. You can buy a Kanban board online, with fancy post-its. You can also just buy normal post-its yourself and make your own Kanban board on a wall. You can also make a Kanban board in an Excel file and update it there. Or just on a sheet of paper. And there are also websites and software that will make a nice Kanban board for you. In my experience, a physical Kanban board in the place where you work on the tasks is the best, then you always see right away what to work on, at all times. But if you need to travel many places, a sheet of paper or web page or app might be more convenient. Productivity is a personal journey. You will find what works the best for you. If you are a human, I have good news and bad news for you. The bad news is that we as humans are relatively bad in estimating how long a task will take. And the good news is that we can become better in it, or even can become very good in estimating. Some people are natural talents in estimating, but others have to become talents in estimating by applying methods and practicing. I will show you how you can be better in estimating. This way you can set more realistic goals, and be more productive. When you have a realistic goal and you know you will reach it, you will be way more motivated to work on it. Did I already tell you that we humans are bad at estimating? I forgot to tell you one more unfortunate fact about us, humans. When we recall things from memory, the facts don't always 100% align with reality. Our own brain fools us sometimes. But also here I have good news. We can outsmart our own brain. With a simple piece of paper. I will explain you the trick of how to use paper to outsmart our own brain. Remember our Kanban board? And that humans are generally speaking bad in estimating? We will now upskill our estimating skills. When we take a task to work on it, we write the start date, in this case the 1st of February. And once done, we write the end date, and the total time. If you indulge in distractions meanwhile, like gaming, listening music, checking social networks, it's good to also write that down on the post-it. But also if you got blocked by external factors such as a power outage, write it down on the post-it, and how much it impacted. In this example we are also done on the 1st of February, but 1 year later, It took us 1 year, because we played games meanwhile, and listened a lot to music. We start our next task the 2nd of February, we work hard and without distractions and see that we're done on the 22nd of February of the same year. So instead of having to take 1 year to write one chapter, we managed to speed up to only 20 days. This motivates us to do the next task also without distractions. We start our task to write the next chapter on the 1st of March. When do you think we would be done with this chapter? Chances are that you estimated to be done the 20th or 21st of March. That is a perfect guess, but tasks do vary a bit. In this case we were done the 24th of March. So for our next task, we will estimate something between 20 and 24 days, if no distractions. And 1 year, if we indulge in distractions again. The more we keep track, the more accurate we can estimate. Some variation will occur, but that's okay. Our goal is not to be able to guess 100% accurate, but to get to know ourselves better, and to be able to guess approximately. To get better in planning, keep track of the time you spend on a task. Also, keep track of the interruptions or distractions. Like this, you know how long certain tasks take you. And you can also support with facts if music makes you work faster or slower. The most important benefits of tracking time spent on tasks are: you get to know yourself better. You are better able to make realistic planning, which will not give you too much stress, and you will be able to reach your goals. To be more motivated, as you see your progress and you know things are in reach, your motivation will go up. Keeping a focus, you know that working focused will give you the expected outcome. Do you see how this can help you? Have you already used this or a variation on this? Feel free to let me know in the comment section below. What we have learned so far. Eat the frog, do the thing you don't want to do first, then the rest of your tasks are easy. Work step by step. If you have a big task, see if you can split it up in smaller tasks. Just begin, that way the task will become more clear when you work on it. Avoid or remove the distractions. Track your progress and write down how long it takes, this way you see yourself progressing, and you can estimate better. Do you know people that work on Monday, until deep in the night, to get their task done, and they are absolute productive? They are doing twice as much as everyone else. But the next day, they feel quite miserable, and don't do so much work, but rather drink a lot of coffee, while trying to stay awake, and fight their headache. And the next day the cycle repeats again, and they work until very late, and are absolute top performers? Just for the day after to be not productive at all. Do you know such people? I do know such people, and they are not fully satisfied. And I myself have also had such periods, and I was not happy with my performance, and also other people were not happy with my performance back then. Do you think this is the most optimal way to work? One day doing a lot. The next day very little? In this picture, you see one day the person working extraordinarily hard on a task, and the next day, recovering, by working slower, and fighting his exhaustion. And then, the next day, to go extraordinary fast again, to catch up on the backlog. And, the following day, maybe being even more exhausted and working even slower, or maybe being at work but not performing at all. Remember the previous picture? One day working too hard, the other day too little? It's better to walk at a constant pace, not being lazy but being diligent, working hard. But not working too hard, not exhausting yourself. Working hard in a way that you can keep working hard, each day, and working in a way that you will keep your joy. If you overexhaust yourself several days in a row, you might begin to hate the tasks, or to dread them. And you might want to quit your job or tasks. But if every task is perfectly doable, you will feel motivated. Now, life is not stable, and sometimes there might be an extra effort needed from you. But if it is only sometimes, you will have the energy and motivation for it. If it is always, you will be drained, and you won't have the energy and motivation for it. So make sure your work and your work pace is sustainable, hard-working, focused, ambitious, but doable within normal hours. There are two pitfalls: laziness and overworking. We want neither of them. We want hard work, that's realistic and doable. Being lazy is the pathway to poorness and misery. Being overburdened and having constantly way too much work is the pathway to burnout, depression and more misery. But being hard-working, diligent and focused, is the path to making a living. And it is also something that makes you happy. When you look back and see what you have accomplished, you see you bring value. Hard work will make you a living, but you need to be sure you can do it all your life, so pick a realistic pace. A working speed that is moving forward, but is sustainable. Be gracious on yourself. Sometimes it takes time to learn and to get to know yourself, and that is okay. When you have many tasks to do, sometimes it's easy and obvious to know which tasks to pick first to work on. Sometimes it's less obvious, and then it can help to approach it theoretically. There are many different theoretic approaches. One of them is to order the tasks on a quadrant: by urgency, how long can it wait? And difficulty, how much effort will it take you? Take a close look. You see 4 kinds of tasks. 1. High urgency and low difficulty. 2. High urgency and high difficulty. 3. Low urgency and low difficulty. 4. Low urgency and high difficulty. An example of a task that is very urgent, but not difficult, is replying the urgent email of your boss. It takes 1 minute of work, low difficulty, but if you don't reply, your boss will be waiting and maybe even irritated. High urgency. It's great to do those tasks first, then you remove them from your task list, and have space in your head and planning to focus on the remaining tasks. Can you guess what we should work on next? Indeed, next we should work on the high difficulty tasks that are also urgent. Remember that in the previous example, we replied the urgent mail of the boss? Because we answered his simple email, he won't call us, and we won't be disturbed when we work on the more difficult tasks. The other tasks are not so urgent, they can wait. An example of a difficult task can be generating a report based upon data of 4 different files, and present it in a nice way to the management, while nobody in the company has done that before. Because it is difficult, you better start now. Imagine if you first do an easy task that is not urgent, and deliver that before time, but then have not enough time left for the difficult task and deliver that too late. So we will first get the urgent tasks done. Can you already imagine which kind of tasks we're going to do next? Indeed, low difficulty and low urgency. There can be also valid reasons to choose for high difficulty and low urgency. As long as you first do your urgent tasks, before you start with the non-urgent tasks, you cannot go wrong. An example of a task that is low difficulty and low urgency is a mail with a question that your colleague sent you, asking where she can find something that she needs for next month. It's not urgent, but it is something that you should do one day, so you hit the reply button, answer your colleague, and 30 seconds later the task is done. It is important to do those tasks now, even though they are not that urgent now. Because in a few days or weeks they will become urgent if you leave them pending. So getting rid of them ensures that when new urgent tasks come in, you can focus on those new tasks, and won't be dragged down by old workload. And once the small and quick tasks are out of the way, you can focus on the big tasks, that are maybe not urgent now, but will become urgent if you wait too long. So it is the best to start right away. So when you work down your way, you do it in a way that the tasks that need to be done first, are indeed done first. And, in a way that little tasks won't bother you when you do a big task. So when you are working on a big report, your manager won't call you for a simple email, because you have already sent that email. If this topic interests you, do your own research online. There are many different ways to prioritize and organize tasks. So in the past examples, we did the task in the following order. 1. Low difficulty and high priority. 2. High difficulty and high priority. 3. Low difficulty and low priority. 4. High difficulty and low priority. This we can also combine with our Kanban board. We order everything in the backlog. The high priority, low difficulty, we place on top. The high priority, high difficulty, we place as second. The low priority, low difficulty, we place as third. The low priority, high difficulty, we place as last. Here in this example we assume you have only 4 tasks, so we have only 4 post-its in the backlog. If you would have 20 tasks, there would be 20 post-its in the backlog. The backlog is ordered, the most important tasks are on top. The least important tasks are at the bottom. Because the backlog is ordered, we can each time take the first item of the backlog, and move it to do. And move it to its rightful status. So if we usually work on one item at a time. Working on 2 at the same time would usually not be efficient, but only slow us down. But if you need to work on multiple tasks at the same time, limit the amount of tasks that you need to work on simultaneously to the smallest amount possible. The less things you do at the same time, the more efficient you will be. Focus is the key to success. We have discussed quite a few things. The importance to focus without distractions. The importance to work step by step, and to track and visualize it. And how to prioritize your work. Those will help you to be more productive. But there is more. To be productive, you need to not only focus on work, but also on your whole life. If you eat food with a lot of sugar, your body will have the sugar crave and you live on sugar highs and sugar lows, that won't help you to be productive. Better is to eat real food, as least processed as possible, and if possible biological and organic. Don't eat too less, but also don't eat too much. With overeating you also decrease your productivity. Drinking enough water is also extremely important. If you drink too less water, and you take an IQ test, you will score lower than if you would be properly hydrated. The recommended amount of water is 2 liters a day. But that might differ from person to person, and also on the climate that you are in. Just take care to stay hydrated. Exercise is also important. Even if you just do 10 push-ups in the morning followed by a few minutes planking, this will already give you a good healthy start. Your body determines how you feel, and if you exercise your body will feel better. You will have more energy, also to complete your tasks. Walking is important as well. Walking 30 minutes a day helps you to stay healthy. And when you walk you can also think things through, or just take mental rest, or have a great time with your family. It's also very important to spend time with your family and friends. People are social beings and even people that are socially not so strong, still love meeting people. Deep inside, we all crave love and attention. When we love others, and we are loved by others, we feel much better. This will also reflect in our work. Recreation, or sport, or learning a new language, or learning to play a music instrument is also a very good thing, it keeps your mind sharp. In all, Try to be disciplined. If you don't feel like going to bed, still do it, so you wake up rested. If you do not feel like eating, still do it. If you do not feel like meeting people, still do it. There is a place for feelings, there is also a place to listen to our body if we are tired or not. But sometimes when we know something is good for us, and we don't want, or we make excuses that we're too tired, but we still know it's good. So instead of pampering our feelings, we should just do it. If you only live by your feelings, you'll be like a flag waving in the wind, going however the wind goes, not having a spine. If you have also discipline, you don't need to ignore your feelings, you don't ignore your body and your health, but you take all in consideration, but you choose what is good. You live with a spine, a direction, and a dedication. And when you choose over and over again to do the right thing, you build something very important. A healthy habit. Habits are very important. Repeated small steps can bring big changes. Imagine if you decide to learn 10 minutes a day a foreign language on your phone, straight after breakfast. After a few days you will maybe remember a few words only and not speak anything significant. Few months you will know the basics, and after a few years you will know an impressive amount of words and maybe even grammar. So many small steps together can still bring you very far. Feelings will maybe let you do one step sometimes in a direction. But discipline will let you do one step after another, and let you reach your goal. So think about what you want to reach in life, and think what you need to change for that. Maybe you need to just go to bed in time, to not be always tired. Maybe you need to clean up your desk or room, to stop living in chaos. Maybe you need to be more proactive. Just be disciplined and make that change. Some changes go easy. Some changes are hard, and can be a fight of several months before you internalize them and before they become a part of you. But doing nothing is only an option if you are okay with failure. If you want success, you need to keep working on your goals until you reach them. So think what you want to reach, set your goals, work towards it. Don't be disappointed if you fail, just get up, and try again. If you keep trying you will succeed, even if it will take some time. If you give up you will fail. The people that are successful are not more special than you, they might be more determined, and you can be more determined as well. Step by step, you will reach success. Don't give up, but hold on. You can do it. I hope that this video helped you and inspired you to work more efficient, and to make changes to your life to be more efficient. Remember that success comes step by step, so if there is one thing from this video that resonates with you, just focus on that as your first step. And be gracious with yourself, as changes may take time. I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. What did you like? What do you personally do to be more productive? And any feedback you have for me is welcome. Also, if there is another topic you want me to cover in one of my next videos, please let me know. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon. This way you will receive a notification when a new video is ready. And you help me a lot. And thank you again for watching. See you in the next video. On this video, all rights are reserved, so please do not copy or modify this video or parts of this video. Please do not redistribute this video on other platforms. However, if this video encouraged you and helped you, please do share the link to this video on whatever platform you like, so more people can watch it and be encouraged.